Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here with you. Okay, we are on week number 2 of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And I left this last week with just, let's bring it in a little bit more. I hadn't put my bunny on, I don't believe, last week. And I have done that since you and I chatted last. And I will tell you that stitching through this leather, for me, was a pain in the patootie. Ugh! I got started and it was like, oh dear. But, I mean, I love it now. And I still had fun. I enjoyed doing it. This was not, I should have done this with like maybe 2 or 3 threads instead of all 6. So that's kind of a jumbled mess. But I'm learning, I'm growing. This is my first little stitching on a leather bunny. So yeah, and then, so these are French knots. And then your running stitch. And I kept my little ear floppy. I thought that was super fun. So this is where I've we're ready to move on. So I have already watched both Rachel and Sarah's videos. And now I'm ready to continue working on my background. And I've got quite a bit of stitching that I want to do. And I have this, what is this? 320 DMC. I don't have a lot of variety. I have a lot of embroidery floss. Well, it depends on your terminology, what is a lot. Because I've seen some. One gal, and if you're listening, if that's you, I mean, I'm totally amazed at what you have, but wow, that's a lot. I have, let's see, if we move this over here-ish, well, you can kind of see, I've got two tubs that I work with, and then a few little extra bits. So I'm going to start, and I think I'm going to work on each of these pieces individually. I like the running stitch look. I like that, but I want to go directional, different directions with this. And I like this with the white on cream, and I'm deliberately going to stitch opposite so that it gives it more texture, if that makes sense. I'm using 3 threads, got my thimble, got my rubber finger, and we are just... When these get well used, they do have a tendency to get looser, and so eventually I will, replace it. And this needle is actually maybe a little bigger than what I would love, but I'm gonna try not to worry about it. Why are we whispering? I don't know. You tell me. So today the sun is shining. It is beautiful here. It's cold, but it's beautiful. It's really gorgeous. Okay, it's easier if I can just lay this down, have the table to kind of be my base. I'm not using my hoop right now. For doing this running stitch, it seems like the hoop would be a lot more trouble than it's worth. So we're just winging it, my friends. So, how are you coming on Rachel and Sarah's challenge? Okay. Okay, so that's not too bad. And I am going to just continue this for a little bit. Okay. I like it so that it's hidden underneath, so it looks like the stitching goes all the way out to the edge. I guess I could take it out to the, nah, I don't want to. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch all my green in, and then I'll be back and we'll see what we want to do, change threads and whatnot. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I came back before I finish because I want to show you this little trick. Okay, so this is double-sided tape, and this is an 1/8 inch thickness. And because I feel like this is a good width, I am, as you can see here, let me bring it up. Whoops. Let me bring it up so you can see. I have put that tape down to give myself a line to do my embroidering. So now that I've come to the end of that space, oh, oops, I don't want that glue on there. Okay, so it's not without its issues, okay? I was going to reuse that, but I won't. So now I'll go ahead and I will cut another one, and we will just put this down where underneath the other line. Okay, and that gives me a pretty nice little workspace. So now we'll go down and up. Okay, and then we will just go back the way we came with our little running stitch. And I am, whoops, come on. Okay, so then I'm just going to continue that way, and that way my lines are pretty nice, pretty neat. They don't go, you know. I mean, and that would be fine too. I'm just trying to do this straight, at least, and I can also use, you could also use like an erasable pencil or something like that, and I may do that when we get over in here, or I may do some different things, because this is all I have of this width, and I haven't been able to get this width for a bit. So okay, so now I will continue stitching and then I'll be back. Okay, so we have finished this first little bit, and I love it. I love the texture. Oh, wow. Okay, that's super fun. Okay, now I thought I would work on this section, and I'm thinking that I want to maybe draw a bouquet of flowers, or, I mean, I'm not good at drawing, but I can do lines. lines. I could do daisies. Let's see. Let's take a look at our stitches here and see what we can make flowers out of. Obviously, the daisy stitch. And I forgot to put the little center in those, but I'm not going to worry about that. I could do the weaving. I could create flowers with the weaving. I can do the daisy stitch. I could do the bullion flower, but man, I have to do a lot of practice to have that stitch work, because that for me is hard. Really, really hard. So we'll see. But for now, let's just go ahead and we'll just do some stems. And maybe we just, maybe we just want 3, 4, 5, and then, you know, my leaves and such, but I won't draw those in because I don't think that's necessary. I will most likely, okay, so I think this is what I'm going to do. I'll go ahead and do my stems. I don't know if I'm going to do the stem stitch or the back stitch. We'll see. And so that will tack all of this down. And then when I attach my leaves, that will do even more. And then my flowers, I took these too high. So I will most likely, you know what I might do? I might get little bits and paper of, little bits of ribbon or fabric to make flowers as well, because that would be pretty too. Little circles, and then I could, you do the blanket stitch or, yeah, okay. Okay, so, all right. Well, there's a start. So let's continue. Let's pick colors for the flowers. I think we'll do some blue. We'll do a little bit of purple. Let's see. There's a silk. That'll be a pretty one. And let's pick some blue. And let's see, what green do we want to do our stitch? This is a little different green from this one. This is what I did, this background stitch right here. So I want something, you know, a little bit different. But do I want it dark or light? I maybe want it a little bit darker. This kind of matches this dark in here. Yeah, I think I like that just a little bit better. So we'll put that one back in our little tray. Excuse me. Let me grab a drink. Okay, and I may do some pink in here too. But we'll start, I'll pull these out, keep those out, and then I will just, we'll go ahead and start on the green stems, and then I will show you what I've done with my Journal of Stitchery. I've done a little bit more work on that one. My title page. Let's see, how many are in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 3. So we will separate that. We'll have 3 here. I have to get this pretty close. I need to get another. I used to have some needle threaders, but I don't have a good one. I used to have a bunch of them, and it was like, I don't use these. I don't need these. Give yourself 10 years. Everything changes, right? Right. Of course, right. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you this anyway because no, I'm going to wait. I think I'll do the back stitch just because it is pretty quick. So we will, and I'll do a medium. I don't want a super tiny stitch, and I don't want a really large stitch either. So we'll just kind of go in between. In between. So I have been actually working on my stitching of an evening, you know, when I'm done working and doing what I do throughout the day, then evening when it's time to just kind of relax with hubby and watch TV, maybe watch a movie or something, then this is something that I like to do for a little while. And then I really do, it gets to where my eyes are just really tired and I have to quit. And then it's open my phone to the puzzles while I'm watching something. Although I have to say, I've kind of gotten into my son, one of my sons, our youngest, he has a cat. And her name is Mitten. And she's a very, you know, she doesn't like everybody. You know, cats, they have their own personality. I have to let her come to me on those. Haven't seen a lot of her because, you know, he lives in Texas. But on those times when I have, I'm sorry, Mitten. She will come to me in her own good time, you know, but she's like, don't push me. Don't push me, Grandma. And so, yeah, kind of fun. What was I telling you that story for? Oh, yes. He got me started watching some of the little reels and things about cats. Oh, sometimes I just laugh so hard. It just cracks me up. Some of these videos that people put about their pets. It's just so funny. So that's something kind of fun that he and I share. Okay, Dad, he's not a real cat lover. But I don't know that he's a real pet, have a, you know, inside pet. And I think a lot of it has to do with he has severe allergies and has asthma. And so, you know, he's grown up with a lot of limitations that way. And I found out that I am very allergic to cat dander, which explains why, when I was little, I used to bring home every stray cat that I found. And I would beg my mom we keep her? Can we keep it? And Mom would just, she'd look at me with this, oh dear, what do I do with you? And more often than not, she did let me keep them but there again, more often than not, they were stray cats. And so they might stay for a meal or two and then they're gone. But we did there were a few that stayed and that became, I adopted them. But I had allergies, and Mom thought that there was a certain ragweed where I grew up, and that was what was causing my eyes to swell shut. But I found out later as an adult, when I was able to go to an allergy specialist for testing, that my allergy to cat dander was so huge it was off the charts. There I am laying on my stomach, on a table, whatever, and they give you, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what they do, but they give you these different things, prick your skin and put these different things on your back, little scratch, and you're covered up except your back is bare, so that the allergies, if it's going to react, it can show up. So there I am with my bare back, and it was so big and such a huge reaction to the cat dander that the doctor asked, there were like all these nurses and stuff that he's like, come look at this, have you ever seen this? I'm like, okay. That's great, come look at my bare back with the huge circle where the cat dander was. Anyway, but these videos, they just crack me up. So Andrew and I share them with each other, kind of back and forth. It's pretty funny. Okay. So as you can see, guys, this is just super simple, plain. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my stems. I don't think I'm going to go clear to the end of my little mark. Or if I do, I'll put, I'll do some other things and add so that we can have some fun flowers there. But I'm going to at least do the stems. And I will be back. I hope that you're working on your project, perhaps. That would be super fun. But if not, that's okay. I just enjoy you being here. All right, I'll be back. Okay, here we go. I have finished stitching my stems, and I've used I have just used the daisy stitch to do my little leaves, and I'm liking this so far. So I think for this video, I'm going to call this good, my friends. My hands are getting a little bit tired, so we aren't going to do any more on this. I am going to show you, now we're going to move to the other project, which is my title page of Journal of Stitchery that I started last week. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go get it and I will return. Okay, so now that we're done with that part, week number 2, working on that. It's exciting. Remember, I told you that I would be working on Journal of Stitchery as we go along. And I did this. I've not tacked these down, these little bits of lace. And I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to stitch around here. But what I did, for those of you that decide you maybe want to do some kind of a, I don't know, a frame, if you will, around your page, I used mainly circles, just different sized circles, and, you know, just trimmed them. I would start with, like for instance, this. I would turn it into a square, and then I would just, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. I tell myself that a lot. And it actually is a little more oval, but it's still very pretty. So, you know, just layering, putting one down. And this is the clue. Here is a hint. And I don't mean to discount anything that Rachel and Sarah teach you, because they're right. But if you want to sneak, don't tell Rachel. I don't care. You can tell her. I have discovered years ago with my applique work the advantage of having a good little glue stick. So these have all been glued down. So I didn't pin them. I didn't stitch them down to hold them in place. I just glued a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit to hold them down. Now, does it give you another thickness to go through on your fabric? Yes, it does. So if you're working with very thick fabrics, it might not work. This, with the cottons that I'm using, it will work fine. But they're thinner. These are nice quilting cottons. But say, for instance, let's see, let me get some, if I can find, like some, okay, like here, this is a heavier, this probably, it may glue, but I probably wouldn't with, although that's a looser weave, but say you have some upholstery fabrics, and those are usually a little bit heavier, and I probably wouldn't with those. And I was given a bunch, let's see, I was given a bunch of these, and these are a heavier, I'm assuming it's still a cotton, but maybe more like a broadcloth, or anyway, it's heavier. And so I might not use a glue stick on that. But this, you know, so now I'm just playing, continuing to play. I'm thinking of outlining this with the blanket stitch. That could go nicely around the edges. And or I may just want to do, you know, just the running stitch along kind of the edges here. I kind of like that look. So I don't know. We'll just see, but I just wanted to show you this for just a minute, and just kind of what I'm doing. I will continue working on this. You do that, I'll do this. Oh, you get it. Okay. All right. Right now it is dark outside, and I know it doesn't video as well in the evening as it does during the day. So I'm going to stop here and we will continue. All right. I don't think I'm done with the video yet. I have to look and see how long this has gone. And we'll see. All right, guys. Okay, I think I really am finished for today. I wasn't sure, but yeah. Yes, I'm tired. So here we go. This is what I'm working on. Super excited. Still have a lot of stitching to do. And I haven't decided on this little guy whether we're going to put the lace down here, going to put the lace here and maybe trim it off, put it here, put it here, 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 here. You get the idea. We're still going to do a little bit of playing. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, afternoon, morning, evening, night, whatever, whenever it is that you're viewing this video. I love you guys, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. All right, so have a fabulous day. Until next video, bye-bye now.